One of the sections for IGCSE World Music is the music of the Gamelan of Indonesia. Now they're quite unique because I don't have any stars playing and performing. I have a whole set of instruments. Now if you look at this picture here, you will see that that's one set. And I can't take the set apart because they are decorated and tuned for this specific set. I cannot mix and match one gamelan set with another. And the gamelan set is quite important in the culture of Indonesia. I will, for instance, never step over instruments because then I break the link between earth and heaven, and that we will discuss. Now, I will make a few of the videos on gamelan, and this is what I will discuss in the videos. The sound and the social nature of the gamelan, the scale of the gamelan, the different layers that I have when I hear the gamelan. I love the Dr. Smith method, and underlined will be the green phrases that were answers expected in past papers of the IGCSE. Pictures of the instruments that you can of course also find all over the internet and YouTube. A summary of the gamelan set and a comparison to the whole gamelan to a tree and the sections that I have on a tree. Now, gamelan is the general term for a set of musical instruments consisting of tuned gongs, you will hear in the background, gongs and metallophones. So they have roughly the same texture, the same sound, and the tone color is the same, and the texture is heterophonic because they play the same melody, but they play it on their own, in their own style. These finely tuned instruments are often accompany performances of rod or shadow puppetry. Now the meaning of the word gamelan is to hammer or to hit or to strike. That is something that they can ask you. What is the meaning of the word gamelan? Different gamelan cultures in Indonesia is based in Central Java, Western Java and Bali. These gamelan styles are different but developed from the same tradition. It's influenced by the music from China and India and the Arab world. Hinduism was brought to Bali and Java in the 5th century. It is known from temple carvings and pictures that all types of gamelan instruments used today were in use by the 16th century. Islam spread through Java during the 15th century. Today, Bali is mainly Hindu with strong Hindu religious features in all the art forms, and Java is mainly Muslim. So they can also ask you, identify the music that you hear in the background. Where is this from? And then you have to say it's from Indonesia, or you can say Java or Bali. Okay, I will not say it's from China or India or the Arab world, although it's influenced by those cultures. You have to be able to say Indonesia. The sound of the gamelan is unique. Many of the instruments have a similar sound quality. So the sound quality, the tone color, the timbre, and the texture of the sound, this is a very important characteristic, is heterophonic. And it's achieved by the layers of the different groups within the ensemble. Now the music expresses the deepest beliefs and feelings of the Indonesian people. Through gamelan music, they can express themselves as performers or listeners, as their culture does not permit open displays of emotion. Gamelan music is associated with all celebration of life, from birth, marriage, death, natural festivals, religious festivals, just as songs are used in other world cultures. For instance, my culture from Africa, we have songs and music celebrating the whole cycle of life. In villages, the gamelan is heard in open-sided square pavilions. I'm sure that you've seen, if you look at YouTube videos, you've seen them performing in the little villages in the open-sided square pavilions, which are the centers for social and festive activities. Gamelan is an important part of court and state ceremony as a means of celebration as well as entertainment. The court gamelans are very ornate and cast in bronze, and the village gamelans are simpler in style, made of iron, brass or bamboo. Traditionally it's played by men and boys. More recently women could join in playing in the gamelan ensemble. They play together in a group as a whole, and as I said previously, we don't have any stars. All the players in the group, all the players are equal. Even if you have beginners, more advanced and specialists, they will play the different layers according to their capabilities. It's treated with respect as they believe the instruments have spiritual powers. They never step over instruments as they believe this would break the link between the instrument and heaven. That's also a question they can ask you. Why is it impolite to step over a set of gamelan instruments? And that is your answer. Incense and flowers are offered to sets of gamelan, and name-giving ceremonies take place when a new gamelan is made. That is how important the gamelan culture is in Indonesia. Gamelans are made in sets, and each instrument in one set is decorated in the same way. So I can't mix and match. The tuning of each set varies from the other sets, so it would be impossible to combine instruments from two different sets as they would not be in tune with each other. Gamelan is used for dance, poetry and drama performances, as well as for the very popular shadow puppet plays. Gamelan is based on oral tradition. That means that I don't have notation. Players learn by mastering techniques and memorizing the music. Notation is not used. So that's quite easy in a village if you see this as a group activity where youngsters can learn from the older, more experienced players. Okay, so let's take a moment there to look at everything that you have there. Okay, incense, tuning. Okay, so that's quite important that I have that. The tuning of the instruments. I can't combine these instruments together. Now, I have two scales, and I'm sure that you also did that in your class. We have two basic kinds of scales. The slendro, 5 notes with equal distance per octave. Now, I'm sure that they will not ask that this year because that is not your main focus, but think of the slendro with the 5 notes, and then I have the pelov, 7 pitches per octave. And there we have an example of the pelov scale. Okay, the pelov has 7 notes, but many gamelan ensembles only have keys for 5 of the pitches. So as with the Arab music where I have lots of notes, I select specific notes that I will play. Even in ensembles that have all 7 notes, many pieces only use a subset of 5 notes. And the slendro is a pentatonic scale that divides an octave into 5 fairly equal parts. Okay. Rhythmic mode is defined as a musical unit that binds together the entire 5-instrument ensemble. By adding together the various rhythms of each instrument, one could create music, and by changing one of the rhythms, one could create different music. This is the basic of the rhythmic mode. So that's not important, it's just for background. Okay, so, and there we have the whole gamelan set. I've taken this picture from Worlds of Music, and just tell me if there's a problem with using this. And I'm sure that you also have that in your music book that you use at school. You will see that I have gongs hanging there. I have a slayem. I have kempul. It's also brass, gongs, bonang, suling, kempiang, kenong, ketuk, the saron, the slenting, the selempong. I've got a type of a drum here. I can use the rebab here, and I have gender. And we will discuss all the importance of all these layers. Look at that one. Okay. Now the layers that we have there, a gamelan orchestra is usually made up of 15 to 20 players. The 5 main instruments are the gong angeng, the main gong, which produces a deep ringing sound. So I would ask you to try and find pictures and listen to this on YouTube. The bonang, gong kettles chimes that rest on cords which are stretched across a frame box. They make a chiming sound when hit with a padded stick. The gender, I hope that I pronounced this correctly, part of the Panerusan instruments. The gender family consists of metallophones, which plays a supporting role, high melody based on decoration, variations of the nuclear theme, bulangan. The saron, another metallophone that plays the main melody, nuclear theme, the barungan, and the kampang kayu, a type of xylophone. Now what we will discuss next time is what questions we had in previous IGCSE papers. How is sound produced on these instruments? Where you then have to look at a specific, they can ask you the sarong or the gender or the balungan or the gong angeng, and describe, for instance, how the Panerusan instruments are used in the extract that they played. Use technical words in your answer. What other features of the extract are typical of gamelan music? 4 marks. And I love the Dr. Smith method, and that I will discuss next time.